During the Civil War, the Union Army was paying thousands of dollars for gunpowder. But instead of gunpowder, defense contractors were selling and sending sawdust. Abraham Lincoln decided to put a stop to this, and in 1863 he passed the False Claims Act. This gave the average worker the same authority as the government, and now citizens who blew the whistle on cheaters could sue in the name of the United States and then collect a reward when the government won the case. That was the beginning 150 years ago. The False Claims Act has been used ever since as a tool for fighting corruption and fraud on the United States government. How has it been working? In July 2012, GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceutical paid the U.S. government $3 billion in the largest healthcare fraud settlement in U.S. history. The government paid 3 whistleblowers $42,300,000. In a modern-day version of selling sawdust, the aerospace company Northrop Grumman sold the government faulty electronic equipment for military satellites. Northrop paid $325 million in the largest settlement ever paid by a defense contractor, and Robert Farrow, an employee who blew the whistle, received $48,750,000 as his share of the recovery. In what kinds of cases do whistleblowers blow the whistle? For the B-1 bomber, your employer cannot double the labor costs in making the landing gear. For the MX missile's guidance system, your employer cannot create and pass off phony test results. A manufacturer cannot inflate the costs for ball bearings in jet engines for the Air Force, for ball bearings in Army helicopters, for ball bearings in nuclear reactors for submarines. HCA got caught billing lab tests and home health services that were unnecessary or never provided, and they had to pay the United States $840 million. Your company cannot charge the Air Force twice to develop special tools for radar on F-16 fighters. On contracts for flight simulators, your employer cannot keep 2 sets of books for billing, one that's real and one they send to the government. Your company cannot give false prices for aluminum on the KC-135 aircraft. Your company cannot promise to produce a helicopter engine that will log 2,400 hours of flight time between overhauls when the engine actually delivers less than 600 hours before it needs repairs. Takeda Abbott Pharmaceutical, TAP, got caught giving kickbacks and had to pay $559,483,000 because of fraudulent pricing of a drug that was sold to treat prostate cancer. For kickbacks to dialysis facilities and for fraudulent blood testing, Fresenius Medical Care paid the government $385 million. The cases we've mentioned just scratch the surface of all the false claims that have been filed. There has to be a government contract. The contracts usually involve hospitals, medical associations, scientific researchers, pharmaceutical suppliers, laboratories, universities, and anyone receiving Medicare payments, as well as defense contractors making weapons or missiles or tanks or vehicles, or construction companies that are building highways and bridges with federal funding. If the contractor has been cheating the government by overcharging, by certifying testing that it didn't perform, by upcoding, by falsifying time cards, by shipping substandard parts, or by any one of 1,000 other schemes that result in the United States government paying more than it should, you can become a whistleblower and put a stop to the cheating, and be rewarded for doing so. When the lawsuit you began as a whistleblower is successful, you will receive 15 to 25% of what the government recovers. And even if the Justice Department turns you down, you can continue to pursue your claim in court as a private individual acting on behalf of the government. And if the government doesn't intervene, you get a higher share, between 25% and 30% of the money that the government wins. All because you, as a whistleblower, brought a lawsuit for the United States of America. If your company has cheated the United States on a government contract, delivering sawdust instead of gunpowder in any one of 1,000 ways, I'd like to be your lawyer. If you feel that you realistically have a valid false claims case, I'm hoping you'll consider hiring me to represent you.